The Browns' quarterback battle detonated into full-scale chaos during Wednesday's afternoon practice, igniting rumors of a sweeping organizational shift after what insiders describe as the most lopsided quarterback disparity the coaching staff has witnessed in decades. From the moment drills began, it became clear this wasn't a typical positional competition. This was an evaluation, it was a declaration of hierarchy. For anyone craving raw, unfiltered, behind the scenes, quarterback drama far beyond the polished cliches of press conferences. This moment delivered everything. If you've followed Cleveland's quarterback controversy since, it's the draft night upheaval. Understanding what unfolded today is absolutely crucial. The incident erupted during a routine 7-on-7 installation period, where multiple sources with direct facility access reported a staggering gulf in performance from the very first reps. Shedeur Sanders didn't just outperform third-round pick Dillon Gabriel, he dismantled him. Surgical execution versus frantic hesitation. Championship-level command versus developmental disarray. The contrast wasn't subtle. Every offensive coach, position assistant, and staffer watching saw the truth immediately. One quarterback operates a professional offense with mastery, while the other is still struggling to locate basic competence. Sanders' opening drive reportedly left observers stunned. He processed reads instantly, delivered throws with razor-sharp timing, and placed the ball with clinical precision, hitting receivers precisely where root concepts intended. The offensive rhythm transformed the moment Shedeur stepped under center, crisp footwork, lightning-fast progressions, and absolute command. Veteran receivers took notice, exchanging knowing glances that silently acknowledged they were witnessing something different. This wasn't simply a promising young talent. This looked like the birth of a legitimate franchise quarterback, Gabriel. Meanwhile, collapsed spectacularly in front of the entire organization. Sources described wild misfires, jittery footwork, catastrophically late reads, and passes consistently thrown behind receivers, obliterating the timing the staff had spent weeks installing. Then came the disastrous red zone interception, and with it, visible frustration from coaches, hands on heads, expressions frozen in disbelief. Wide receivers returned to the huddle, shaking their heads, their body language screaming what nobody dared say aloud. According to one insider, deeply familiar with Cleveland's offensive chemistry, the offense only moves when Shedeur is in. Everyone sees it. Nobody says it publicly, but everyone knows. This wasn't a one-off struggle. It was a systemic, structural exposure of ability. Gabriel was drafted as a long-term developmental starter, expected to grow gradually within a controlled timeline. Instead, he now watches a fifth-round rookie elevate the entire offense, while his own reps deliver stagnation, frustration, and growing organizational doubt. The pressure around him has become suffocating, and then things intensified. Sanders reportedly launched a spectacular 45-yard touchdown strike, threading the football perfectly between two defenders, an elite-level throw that separates true franchise quarterbacks from developmental placeholders. The offense erupted. Receivers chest-bumped, linemen celebrated loudly, even defensive players nodded their respect. The energy across the practice field shifted instantly. Then Gabriel took the next rep, a simple checkdown. Missed badly. The entire facility fell into heavy, uncomfortable silence. No encouragement. No support. Just the grim acknowledgement that the performance gap wasn't only obvious, it was insurmountable. The moment that shattered any remaining illusions came during the hurry-up team period. Sanders led a flawless march downfield across 5 consecutive plays, decisive throws, impeccable timing, championship composure under simulated pressure. When Gabriel followed, the offense stalled immediately, collapsing back into the sluggish, fragmented rhythm that has defined his practice sessions all camp. Overthrows, brutal sacks, and completely shattered timing routes kept derailing possessions. Receivers slowly began drifting away from Gabriel's orbit. Running backs instinctively clustered around Shedeur. Offensive linemen subtly shifted closer to the quarterback. They actually believed in the one who commanded respect, inspired confidence, and genuinely felt worthy of their protection. None of this was scripted or staged. It was organic leadership revealing itself in real time. And the coaches saw every bit of it. So did Gabriel? That's exactly when the situation detonated, according to multiple sources. Gabriel confronted Sanders near the sideline, visibly frustrated that teammates were gravitating toward Shedeur as the true leader, instead of honoring the third-round pick's supposed seniority. But Shedeur didn't snap back, didn't lose his cool, didn't escalate. People close to the scene say he simply gestured back toward the practice field, as if to say, "You see what happens when I'm running this offense? The results speak louder than your draft slot." Staffers sprinted in immediately. Players formed a protective circle. The tension spiked so sharply that practice was on the verge of being shut down entirely. Coaches scrambled into crisis management mode, splitting up the quarterbacks, redirecting energy, desperately trying to avoid an all-out organizational spectacle in front of any watching media. One person inside the building summed it up perfectly. Dillon watched his job slip away in real time. Shedeur took it today, he didn't ask. He didn't wait for permission. He just took it with undeniable performance. What happened after practice might be even more revealing than anything that happened on the field. Coaches appeared rattled, avoiding eye contact, sidestepping pointed questions, refusing to touch anything involving rep distribution, performance disparity, or that sideline confrontation. Kevin Stefanski declined to answer specifics about any of it. His silence said more than any carefully crafted press quote ever could. The locker room didn't need an official statement. They already understood the new reality. The hierarchy had been reset. Shedeur Sanders didn't just win a quarterback competition today. He won the full trust of the locker room. He earned the coaching staff's reluctant but unmistakable acknowledgement. He pulled the entire franchise's internal alignment in his direction. Veterans who initially rolled their eyes at ownership's bold, draft night proclamations are now watching those claims being validated in front of them. Younger players who quietly wondered whether Sanders was truly starting material now understand, this wasn't just another training camp practice. This was a defining pivot point where speculation died and reality took over. Look at the organizational implications and you can feel the earthquake. Front office personnel who spent real capital on Gabriel in the third round now face uncomfortable questions about their evaluation process, developmental projections, and sunk cost loyalty. Coaches who originally leaned toward Gabriel because of his system familiarity are now being pulled toward the simple, unanswerable truth. Superior talent forces adjustments regardless of draft pedigree. Ownership, heavily criticized for the Sanders selection and accused of meddling, suddenly looks vindicated. All the talk about interference and disrupted timelines hits differently when the project walks onto the field and clearly outclasses the hand-picked developmental starter. But don't expect a clean, drama-free resolution. Gabriel's camp is already pushing back behind the scenes. His supporters emphasize unfair circumstances, relentless media scrutiny, and immense organizational pressure tilted toward ownership's favorite. His agent is reportedly tracking every development. It's quietly exploring potential trade avenues and trying to secure a situation where Gabriel's growth isn't overshadowed by a surging rookie. Meanwhile, Team Sanders remains calm, composed, and unbothered, letting performance do the talking instead of firing back through the press. Cleveland felt the shift. NFL executives around the league monitoring the Browns' situation could sense the paradigm change. Analysts who have been tracking this quarterback storyline now recognize that the narrative has flipped. Most importantly, Dillon Gabriel felt it all crashing down at once: his positional security, his organizational standing, his competitive leverage, his professional future. The quarterback battle is no longer leaning toward Shedeur. For those who witnessed Wednesday's practice meltdown, it's over. The performance gap has become too massive to ignore. Organizational alignment has quietly but decisively rotated toward Sanders. The confidence of the locker room has fully migrated to his side. This is no longer about camp reps or preseason depth charts. This is the Cleveland Browns quarterback, future crystallizing before Week 1 even arrives. Whether the franchise publicly acknowledges it now or stalls with vague coach speak and ongoing evaluations. The direction was effectively locked in on Wednesday afternoon. Thank you guys. See you next video.